Hello everyone and welcome to today's session. We at Indian Vegetable Oil Producers Association wanted to take this bold step to organize a COVID bull or bear price outlook and analytics because the times are very volatile, very dynamic. And last month we had our seminar again, webinar. That time we thought that the market was a bear. And today it has grown horns, but the tail is missing. I welcome our distinguished guests, our esteemed speakers. We thank you all for managing to participate today, despite different demographies, different time zones. Please accept our humble namaste from India. I'll come to speakers list and proceedings in a while. Some housekeeping announcements. All the delegates, guest audio and video have been muted to avoid any disruption during the presentations. All the presentations will be uploaded on YouTube and you will get the links, so no need to jot down. Questions for respective speakers can be posted on Q&A box, which you see. Please give your name and company name. I must declare something which is very, very dramatic. We have received an overwhelming response. I think the last count that I saw was 1159 or something like that registration. So which means that it is almost equivalent to a Globe Oil or a Palm Oil Outlook conference. It's a powerhouse, not in terms of the width of the numbers, but I think in terms of all the companies that I see who are participating, I think it does look like this powerhouse webinar today covers nearly 60-70% of veg oil trade of the world. I'll come in a minute as to why. There are many dignitaries here. To mention a few, we have people from offices from High Commission, Indian Embassy abroad like Argentina, Malaysia, Indonesia. We have Malaysian Palm Oil Council, MPOCC, Malaysian Palm Oil Board, and CPOPC, and many other trade bodies. I must also mention we have our own beloved Gaurav Mistry with us. Welcome, sir. I also acknowledge industry stalwarts. Some of them are dons like Atul, B.V. Mehta, Sandeep Bajoria, Pradeep Chaudhary, Anshu Malik, Bhavna Shah, Kailash Singh, and Govind Bhai, to mention a few. Obviously, if I keep on reading the list, I need an hour. And I thank IVPA Executive Committee and Secretary General Kamra and the technical support for pulling off this entire show, the massive one. Welcome, Gustav, for joining us. We have an array of, when I see all of them on the screen, I am reminded of Avengers, kind of a speaker, to share their insights and expertise. We have Sri Swami Ramdevji to share his wisdom and address us his unique combination of business, yogic dharma, and spiritual aspects. Welcome, Swami. We have highly accomplished professional experts from areas of global veg oil markets, consumer trends, agri and food sector, Government of India to provide policy perspective. Friends, let me tell you, all our esteemed speakers happily and immediately accepted at the first instance, and including Sudhanshu Pandeyji. One of them is in this panelist, one of them is my ex-boss, and one is my current boss. By the end of this webinar, I think you will know who is who. We say that we are the pioneers of veg oils webinars in India because we held our first webinar on the 24th April. A lot has happened since then. Hence the need for the second webinar. There was a massive encouragement for that. I will just cover that in a few minutes. I will take not more than 5 minutes. Because at this powerhouse, I actually don't want to moderate. Moderating means I know where it is going. I just want to be a modest rater, let's say. James, if you agree. On the center stage, post-COVID will be the consumers, farmers, and the government. Their choices will decide the size and the scope of the new business models. It is not just a strategy change, but probably new business models. Some of the changes will be permanent, some of the changes will be transient. The trick is to know which one is what, and that's where the 360-degree view from our speakers will make this happen. Nowadays, the black swans and the locusts come in groups in COVID times. COVID has changed the way we breathe, we eat, we travel, we work and spend. Seems priorities of every consumer in this world have been redefined. Things are dramatic. Last month we thought, now let me get on to the veg oil business. I guess a lot of you like to see from the perspective of veg oil also. It looked like biofuels when the incredible zero price of WTO happened, wherein people want to pay money to lift your cargoes, not on the BT, not on the Brent crude, but WTI. It looked like biofuel would have no hope, and what happened to WTI crude can happen to many other commodities. At one stage, somebody was commenting, same will happen to palm oil, for example. Crude bounced back closer to levels Dr. James focused on 24th April. He said production cutbacks will make the Brent crude go back to 45. James, I can pull your leg. We call you again because of that, okay? Because you said it so right. There was some discussion, if you recollect. Palm prices were touched 1939 ringgits BMD, which is like $520. But it's amazing, in the span of 30 days, now we are talking about 2200, 2400 ringgits. I don't know the reason, I merely trade it blindly, but I asked James to throw some light on that. And C&F prices went down from 590 that time, 570 that time to $520, now $600, $590. So I think every week is a challenge. With that complexity, we will try to take as many questions at the end. We will go through 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes of speech by everybody. Before I go to Swami Ramdevji's introduction, I just would like to show probably 3 more minutes on a couple of slides, because a lot of people would like to know what's happening in the Indian context. I just cover that curiosity quickly. Yes, this would take hardly 3 minutes. Then we get on with the job. Key drivers. Brent crude, I mentioned already. Biodiesel production cutbacks, very important. Indian palm demand was affected by 40% due to lockdown driven by HoReCa demand. But I must say, review that today and say that it has resumed very strongly. Consumption shift from hotels, restaurants, canteens to soft oils as the households taking up about 20-25% demand. I think that's a fact that is going to continue. Demand shift to palm in China was supportive for a while. I think that's still true. India will take about 2.5 million tons less is what we thought, a massive. But now it looks like it could be 1.5, 1.8 million tons less only. Just a quick balance sheet. What I want to highlight is basically that import numbers looks like as against 15.9, you could be at 14 million tons, which is a 12% decrease. You will have a total consumption drop due to lockdown or income impact or whatever. All put together, something like 6.8% drop. Per capita consumption, for the first time that I know of in the last 10 years or so, we are seeing a negative under the COVID times. For the one slide only, for the curiosity of what is happening. October to March, India had imports of 1.1 million tons on average. And what you see, April, May, is the red zone. It's a lockout period, in which case the palm oil fallen to 450K, soybean oil was 200, sun oil was 200, it's about 865K. But I think we are walking into an orange zone. That explains why the palm market is going up. And if at all you go into red-green zone, July, August, September, we should be a normal level of 1.3. But even then, this year, India would take about 1.6, 1.8 million tons less. So this is the number I would ask Satya to expand on when he considers that. Plus, I thought we should just briefly talk about the next few months of Indian demand. The questions very quickly: how much biofuel cutbacks? This is for James Fry. What will be the impact of shifts on acreages? Can Indonesia sustain B40 or B30? Future S&Ds, spreads, how are they going to affect? You saw sun oil becoming so strong that it can be the leader of the pack. Maybe something to do with out-of-home consumption transiting back into home consumption, probably. So this is a major issue. And then you will have, if at all, you will have a supply disruptions any one of these time, then you will have a problem. So with that summary, basically, this was important because it's on the consumer front. The questions for Aditya ji specifically was consumer and the marketing. It means massive change in the retailing space in e-commerce in India. Will we move towards healthy hygiene products with safe convenience? This is also for Swami Ramdev ji with his massive brands orientation and consumer pulse. Premium brands of economy brands. Do we move from packed oils, etc.? So these are the kind of questions I would like to bounce off. And that's all I have for now.